all the diagrams from the chapter number 3, Plant Kingdom, from grade 11. Starting with the topic algae. So in the topic algae, there are so many pictures and you have to read all of these paragraphs to understand the pictures. Okay. From all of these pictures, this and this as well as this. So these four, that is 1, 2, 3, 4. These four are the most commonly asked questions in grade 11. If you take any of the PYQs, any one of these pictures will be asked, and they'll be asking you to label it. Suppose they'll be asking this question and ask you to label A, B and C. They'll give each letters and ask you to label it. So make sure you go through all these diagrams in a way in which you can easily label it. And when you're looking forward to labeling it, also make sure that you learn the names of it as well. That is, this is the laminaria of brown algae, and this is the fucus from, again, brown algae, and this is the dictyota, and this is the porphyra from red algae, this one. Then under algae we have the subtopics Chlorophyceae, Phaeophyceae and Rhodophyceae, and to understand these topics you make sure you know this table completely well, because what they'll be doing is just like labeling, they leave some of the boxes blank. Suppose they label this A, this is B and this is C, they'll ask you to fill it down. So if you learn this table, you will be easily learning the topic algae. This table is the key to learn algae properly. Then comes the topic of bryophytes. So bryophytes have a more complex structures, as the topic itself is a bit complex to understand. So make sure you learn and read all of these paragraphs to understand these diagrams. The first two diagrams you're looking at is the diagram of the Mercantia, also known as a liverwort. So these are the common PYQs you see in grade 11. So there will be two, and an easy way to identify which one is male and which one is female is looking at the stalks. So when you look at the stalks, if the name is Antheridiophore, anther, you know in flowers the male reproductive part is stamen, and the stamen consists of an anther and a filament. So wherever you see anther, it is male. So this is a male and this is a female, or a female has separated a disc-like structure on the top, whereas a male have a fused one. Let's start off with the female liverwort. So in the female liverwort, you will find three structures: the archegoniophore, the gemmacups or gemmacups, and the rhizoids. The archegoniophore is an umbrella-like stalked structure at the top. So this is what you need to know. When you're going through this video, make sure you write small notes as well. So it is an umbrella-like stalked, S-T-A-L-K-E-D, stalked structure at the top. So it's an umbrella-like structure. And this archegoniophore bears the female sex organs, and they, O-N-I-A, and they are the female sex organs found in the archegoniophore. And the archegonia are the ones that produce the egg cells. So it is archegoniophore produces the female sex organs, archegonia, and those sex organs they give out the egg cells. That is, archegonia gives the egg cells. Then comes the gemmacups or the gemmacups. Okay, so the gemmacups are cup-shaped structure present on the thallus. This leaf-like structure you see over here is what we call as a thallus, T-H-A-L-L-U-S, a thallus. So the leaf-like structure is called as a thallus, and the egg-like structures found in the thallus is what we call as a gemmacup or gemmacup. Now, these gemma or gemmacups contain gemmae, G-E-M-M-A-E, and these are the structures which help in asexual reproduction. Why? Because the rainwater that falls on the thallus splashes the gemma away, and those tiny gemma are like seeds, because they go and attach to the soil or any other surface and they grow into new plants. So archegoniophore produces archegonia, and archegonia produces egg cells, whereas gemmacup releases gemmae, and it moves through the rainwater falling down into any part of any place and they grow into new plants. Then we have small structures, tiny hair-like structures found below the thallus called as the rhizoids. The rhizoids function just like a root in flowers or the plants, as they help in anchorage and absorption of water and minerals. So it's just like root. And that's all about the female liverwort. Now we'll move on to the male liverwort. Now let's look at the male Marchantia plant or the male liverwort. Okay, so just like in the female, there is another structure, a long stalk called as the antheridiophore. And like before, the antheridiophore is a stalk structure with a flat disc-like top. And it bears the male sex organ. So here it was the female sex organ which is named the archegonia. And whereas here it is the antheridia. A-N-T-H-E-R. Antheridia. I-D-I-A. Antheridia. And the antheridia produces the male gametes, sperms. So archegoniophore produces archegonia. Archegonia produces the egg. The antheridiophore produces the antheridia. Antheridia produces sperms. And just like in the female, the gamecope functions the same as well as the rhizoids. The gamecope helps in the asexual reproduction. So that's all about the female and male liverworts. And the next diagram coming under bryophytes are mosses and especially Funaria. This is the really or the mostly asked PYQ. And what they do is they tell you to label it and ask why this part is a gametophyte and this is a sporophyte. You'll understand this when you read through the paragraphs. Now, how do you label it? There's a capsule, a seta, and some leaves, a main axis as well as rhizoids. The rhizoids function the same, that is anchorage as well as absorption of minerals in water. And this much part is a gametophyte and this much is a sporophyte. The sporophyte releases spores for future plants. So that's all that you need to learn about Funaria. There is not much importance for other diagrams like this, that is a sphangum, and the others like these. There are importance, just go through them. Then comes the group pteridophytes. The images or the diagrams coming in pteridophytes are of not much importance, but they could ask it. And this diagram is not of any use. They won't be asking, well, this is of concern. So how do you name this? This is the equisetum from the group pteridophytes. Okay, in equisetum you find a strobilus which further turns into the cones. Then a node. A node is a place where any leaf, the stalk of a leaf, comes and attaches to the stem. So that is called a node. And the length of the stem between two nodes, one node and another node, is what we call an internode. That is between, internode. And these leaf-like structures are what we call as branches. And here we have a rhizome. Rhizome, rhizoid, same function. And that is all about the diagrams of a pteridophyte. And then we have the topics gymnosperms, in which they'll be mostly asking you about microsporophylls, microsporangia, megasporangia, and megasporophylls. Those are the topics you need to be thorough with. And then finally angiosperms. So this is all about and all the diagrams and the important diagrams as well as important topics from the chapter number 3 of Plant Kingdom. If this video helped you to understand most